I get one question probably more than anything else, and that's what's your load order? People are always wondering what mods I use all the time while doing my personal playthrough, and the real answer is it's always changing. I don't exactly have the luxury of one consistent mod list because I'm always making videos on different builds for Fallout 4, whether that be how to get a bunch of additional New Vegas features into the game, or just showing off some of the coolest new mod releases of the past week. Naturally, with those videos, I don't keep all of those mods installed over the long term because it may not exactly suit my playstyle at that time. Instead, what I actually have are essential mods that I use time in and time out that pretty much remain consistent among all of my different load orders. So in this video, I'm going to show you 6 of those mods, the mods that I've been using for the past 6 months to a year consistently. No matter what the build was, no matter what video I was working on, I had these running in the background. You'll be able to find links to everything I show you in this video down below, right under the like and subscribe button, if you want to click on one of those. But with that, we'll just jump into the video. A few months ago now, I actually worked on a video showing you how high of FPS you could get in Fallout 4. If you want to see the full video, I'll have it linked in the eye. There's a ton of great mods in that, but one that really stuck out to me is having the most significant impact on my game's FPS was the Boston FPS Fix. For a bunch of you, maybe this was just in your load order since its original release in 2017, but maybe I'm stubborn or just ignored it. I kind of assumed it wouldn't have made that big of a difference. In reality, in many instances within Boston, I saw bonuses of up to 20 to 30 FPS. In some spots where I previously got 15 FPS, I would now see 35 to 40, which is massive. It goes from pretty much unbearable to totally playable, if not just a little bit obnoxious. This is one of those mods that's gonna probably remain in my load order as long as I'm making videos in Fallout 4. Because as much as I try to avoid downtown Boston due to the FPS hiccups, you pretty much can't, whether it be due to questing or just wanting to go to Diamond City. One way or another, you're going to find yourself making your way down there at least every once in a while, and I'd say this mod makes it so you can actually bear it. Then we have the Raider Overhaul. This is a mod I knew about for a very long time, but it wasn't until my most recent playthrough that you've been seeing in the background of many of my videos that I actually installed it and used it over the long haul. I never really covered this officially outside of upcoming mods showing some of the upcoming updates for this mod, which that in and of itself is massive. But actually getting to use this in Fallout 4 and experience it, it makes the Raiders a significantly more interesting faction. They went from a group that was fairly predictable and forgettable, all of them honestly being carbon copies of each other, like what was even the difference between like a Raider and a Raider survivalist, to now having more significant and clear differences and all around just being a more formidable force. They now feature custom armors on them, including regular armors and power armors, all introduced by this mod, and many of them are so cool in fact that I've actually been using them on my own character throughout my playthrough. I feel like in times past, whenever you encountered a bunch of raiders, you kind of be like, alright, they all have junk and crap, and I'm just going to kind of ignore looting them other than stim packs and caps. Not with this mod. It makes their equipment and loadouts significantly more interesting, and in addition adds in more of a hierarchy and different ranks within their structure. Then we have Westtech Tactical Optics. This is a mod I used to use all the time, but then I kind of took a hiatus from it. I stopped using it, but now I'm back using it again, and I just love it. I feel like it makes almost any loadout or set of equipment you're wearing in Fallout 4 look a bit cooler. Having those goggles on your forehead and actually having it hotkeyed somewhere so you can instantly turn them on is just satisfying. It makes you feel tactical. If you guys don't know, Westtech Tactical Optics is going to integrate a bunch of night vision goggles into the level list of Fallout 4. You'll see it spawning on enemies, as well as you of course can pick those up and use them on your own character. They include a few different functions like night vision and thermal vision, and there's a variety of different optics to choose from. And honestly, one of the best aspects of this is how polished this mod is. It really feels like a complete experience in Fallout 4. It's lore friendly, or at least made to be lore friendly. The optics aren't just handed to you. There's a few hoops you have to jump to actually get full access to these, and of course they're integrated into the level list. Although today I predominantly use them for their aesthetic benefits, just in general, it's a mod that is pretty much on the level that you wouldn't be able to tell if it didn't come with Fallout 4 to begin with. Then we do have LevelUpMenuEx. If you played through Fallout 4 even just a few times, you probably fell in love with or hated the special system that was introduced with this game. Honestly, I'm pretty indifferent to it. I don't particularly love the special system in Fallout 4, but I don't hate it either. The reason I use LevelUpMenuEx is, after playing Fallout 4 for 2 to 3 years, I got a little tired of using the same special system. This mod's going to make it so you actually have a special system very akin to what you saw in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. It's going to kind of change things things up, make it a different dynamic. You're not going to have to waste valuable perk points on getting gun nuts rank 1, 2, and 3 just to edit some of your different mods. Although yes, it is just a perk mod, you're going to realize after using this, there's going to be some pretty big changes in the game. Your character build has a lot more options. You're not going to have to go down those perk trees to get the essential perks at the bottom of them. In addition, it brings back skills, which I know a lot of people really missed from Fallout 4, and I personally think this system's a bit more enjoyable to the vanilla one, but even beyond all of that, it mixes up the game. It makes things feel different, and if you're on your 5th or 6th playthrough, that's something that is very valuable. Then we do have the Militarized Minutemen. I've talked about this mod so many freaking times on this channel, and I actually just made a video showing you how you can overhaul the Minutemen with a bunch of different mods. This is pretty much going to be the core mod at any of those different mod lists. It's going to change and totally overhaul the loadouts and rankings of the Minutemen, kind of similar to the Raider overhaul, but in addition add in a ton of cool armors that you can use on your own character. I predominantly like the changes to the level list of the Minutemen, making them look different, actually changing up some of their ranks, adding in new types of units that you can see and experience. But beyond anything else, I would say the likelihood of me siding with the Minutemen in my playthrough goes up significantly after installing this mod. It just makes them a far more interesting faction and something that actually is fun to play with. They seem powerful, they now look powerful, and they actually look like a military, not just a ragtag band of settlers. And then last but not least, we have Sim Settlements Rise of the Commonwealth, and I'm very specific in that. Sim Settlements by itself is fun. It's definitely an interesting mod, an improvement over vanilla settlements without a doubt. And although I used it in many of my playthroughs, it never really hit at home. I still found myself largely ignoring settlement mode. With the release of Sim Settlements Rise of the Commonwealth, I found myself putting a much heavier focus on settlement mode. And that was for the fact that Sim Settlements Rise of the Commonwealth allowed you to be much more hands-off with your settlements, and ironically enough, that change led to me being more interactive with my existing settlements, spending more time at them and actually creating more settlements around the map. It felt way more rewarding to actually set up a settlement, go out, do a few quests, and return to it to find it a little bit more built up. Maybe a few more settlers were there, and some of the buildings were upgraded. I personally play on survival mode, so being able to have these settlements as little hubs to kind of rest, get some new equipment, collect taxes, was way more satisfying than having to place down each of the individual plots yourself. Sim Settlements is a really awesome mod, but the vanilla version was a little bit too hands-on for me. I definitely might be in the minority there because it's still significantly more hands-off than vanilla settlement mode, but I would say, at least for me, Rise of the Commonwealth really made the mod something amazing and allowed me to enjoy Fallout 4 settlement mode unlike I had at any time previously. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys liked any of the mods I just showed off or want to try any of them out, I will again have links to all of them down below, all of those that are on PC and those that are available for Xbox One. But before we end things off, I do want to share today's psychology fun fact of the day, and that's going to be about stress. I talked about this somewhat a while ago, but stress is bad, right? Actually, yes, but also no. Stress leads to heart disease when you have it in too high of amounts, but in the same context, too little stress leads to too little productivity and honestly worse performance. So there have been numerous studies showing this, that having a moderate amount of stress, like let's say you have a test tomorrow and you're stressed out about it, is good and actually increases your performance on that. This being on a number of spectrums ranging from just actual test performance as you're filling out the test. If you're too laid back, you may not look carefully enough, and if you're too stressed out, you may miss answers because of how stressed you are. But even kind of biological aspects, having a moderate amount of stress actually increases your memory performance. If over the course of studying and then eventual recall you are decently stressed, you will remember things better than someone who is overly stressed or not stressed at all. So even though stress a lot of time is kind of regarded as being this really bad thing, it isn't always. Obviously, being too stressed or not stressed enough could be bad. I mean, not stressed enough isn't always bad, but too stressed is pretty much always bad. But it's also a very valuable tool for many of you who I know are students. Either way, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this one. As always, again, I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.
I'll teach those bastards a lesson they'll never forget.
We asked the minute, just bring her back safe.